you prepare to fail. Good morning, respected members of the jury, teachers, and my dear friends. Today I stand before you to speak against the motion. Kerala floods effective crisis management by the state government stands unparalleled. 357 lives lost. 21,000 dream homes ruined, 40,000 hectares of fertile land submerged, a total loss of 20,000 crores. Experts state that this was a man-made disaster due to the illegal construction on riverbeds and the unauthorized quarrying of stones. The main duty of crisis management is preparation, prevention, and execution. It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark. On the 14th of June, we were warned by the chief of the UNEP that all the dams would be full by the end of July. Why did we ignore this warning? Why did we wait for the dams to reach its full capacity and then flood the people's lives and homes? Why did we not create awareness among the people and teach them what to do in such a situation? 34 dams were opened at the same time without any warning. Dam safety guidelines given by the central government was ignored. Flood area mapping was not done. The authorities did not know how much water had to be released, which all areas would get flooded and what would be its peak level. Even a 1-hour warning would have been enough to evacuate the people to safer places. The so-called red alert and orange alert failed to convey the proper message to the people since the common man did not understand the gravity of these technical terms. It was requested by the government that people living within 500 meters of the banks of River Periyar had to be evacuated. But unfortunately, the flood water reached 5 to 10 kilometers. My question is, why don't we have the know-how, technology, resources and manpower to tackle such a crisis? We had to depend on the central government even for helicopters and fiber boats. Don't you feel that this was a serious lapse on the part of our state government? It was the fishermen and the local community who volunteered at their own risk in order to save the people trapped in their homes. Why couldn't we take precautionary measures like those taken in Japan and China? For instance, in the flooded areas, all the houses are equipped with lifebuoys and lifeboats. I would like to sum up by saying that the crisis management by our state government has a long way to go and is far from being unparalleled. It surely does have a steep learning curve and lots of homework to do to make sure we tackle such a crisis in the future. Thank you.
Good morning. You're implying that the government hasn't learned its lesson from last time when the flood was in 1924. But then we had one dam and now we have 84 dams, and then the casualty count is 1,000 and now it has been clamped at 488.
What I'm trying to say is, based on the level of improvement and technology, the education which we have today, we could have been better prepared. At that time we did not have the necessary technology, but now we do have it. Still we were not prepared. We didn't even mark the areas which were likely to flood. Hence there was no flood area mapping and we did not learn from the 1924 floods.
Evan, so you think that before such a heavy rain they should have released the dam water?
Yes.
But have you forgotten that before this rain there was water scarcity? So do you think that it was not normal for government to retain the water than releasing it?
First of all, the rain started in May. Second of all, the dams were almost full by the end of July. The rains started from August 9. They could have opened it in July in order to release at least a small amount of water. But we waited for the water level to reach its brims.
So you said that precautions are not sent to the people, ordinary people.
Precautions.
That's precautions about the flood.
Many of the people were not actually evacuated on time. When midnight the water was released and they realized that water was getting inside their homes. Even the correct census, the statistics taken by the government was not correct. They could not predict what would be the level of water and which all areas it would reach. For instance, they predicted it would reach 500 meters, but it reached 7 kilometers. Hence the people in that area was not evacuated on time.
You
You said that early warning would have been enough, but with such a massive population growing organically by the minute, would that have been possible?
It would have indeed saved more lives. The loss amount would have been reduced much further if we had taken precautions and warned them earlier.
Okay.
Thank you.